Hello, Section A. Good evening, Dr. Kerfus. Hi, Aaron. We are the Average Joes, and this is our final presentation. And now the starting lineup for the Average Joes. Number 8, Brandon Jackson. Number 1, Abdul Cisse. Number 6, Jacob Montgomery. And number 7, Justin Yu. As I'm sure that you have all read your subscriptions of the Obscure Sports Quarterly, I'm sure you're all aware of the tournament that we had on Friday, November 14th. Themed after J.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit, the tournament requires each team to accomplish 5 tasks. These tasks include opening the door, claiming the Arkenstone in one ring, rescuing Thorin, defeating Smaug, and avoiding Dragonfire. The winners of the competition receive iPads. The losers burn their devices after the tournament. Yours truly, the Average Joes, had quite an impressive performance during the qualifying competition, where we had truly one of the most unique boxing problems to ever happen in Emmy 2110 history. As a result, the teachers and TAs decided to give us a wonderful seed of 72. We're really hoping to prove the upset in this competition. As you'll find out later, that may or may not have happened. As part of our team training, we started with a function tree outlining the tasks that our device must perform. One of the key results that we gained from this analysis was the breakdown of the tasks, most importantly, the isolation of tasks into various locate, secure, and retrieve subfunctions. This systematic breakdown proved to be very helpful as we analyzed various solutions for each of these tasks, rather than trying to design a solution for simply claiming the Arkenstone or retrieving Thorin. The subfunctions of the function tree were directly inputted into our morph chart. Using these highly detailed drawings of our morph chart, we developed basic ideas for how we would accomplish our subfunctions. As we evaluated new alternative designs, we used the morph chart as a foundation for our ideas and a helpful guide that we ensured to address all the functions that our device must ultimately perform. And now, moving forward, we also developed a House of Quality. The House of Quality cross-evaluated Average Joe's needs from both perspectives of a competitor and also as design engineers. Using some basic statistic analysis, we determined that safety, rule compliance, and opening the secret door were the most important requirements for our device. If we don't open that secret door, we can't accomplish anything else. Using the roof of our House of Quality, we also drew some pretty cool conclusions regarding the relative importance of accessibility and durability. Both of these had positive correlations to other functions. For example, during the competition, Average Joes will be faced with time constraints for the setup and disassembly of our device on the track. Since we have a limited amount of time, it is imperative that our device be easily accessible, so we as a team can get in there and assemble and disassemble our device and allow it to compete on time.
This is our final design derived from our morph chart. It is composed of 4 subsystems designed to accomplish each task of the competition. The particularity of this design is that all the subsystems are activated mechanically. To accomplish the first task, the pneumatic actuator will strike the hinged piece of wood that will release the weight connected to a 2-lever arm to open the secret door. The falling weight will at its turn strike a 4-bar linkage system connecting to a 3-pound weight. With its forward motion, the 4-bar linkage will strike the piece of wood connected to the pair of 33 inches drawer slider equipped with Thorin trap and the black arrow holder so that they can deploy. At the same time, the contact block system will release the 28 inches drawer slider connected to the flex middle sheet arm, claim the Arkenstone and the One Ring. When the top drawer slider travels a 22 inches distance, the Thorin trap connecting to a string will fall upon him and his rescue will be done by the electric motor repelling the string to the starting zone. Finally, when the drawer slider reaches its full length, the black arrow will be dropped into smoke weak spots.
The selection of the final design was made using the second and third level evaluation matrices seen in these figures here. From the second level, you can see that the main design scored an overall score of 42 points and was a close second to the conceptual design 1 with a score of 49, which would be Abdul's design. It was decided a motor retrieval system was a more effective system to rescue Thorn instead of a solenoid trigger system due to other teams failing to use them efficiently in the prelims, as well as a repeated trigger stability due to the solenoid not being able to engage initially on startup. Also, the use of one weight connected to the two lever arms was more effective in momentum transfer as it delivered more force to the 4-bar linkage to initiate all the other subsystems. This was then reflected objectively in the third level, as you can see here, and also taking the importance values into account, the final design wins out with an overall score of 442. A key prototyping stage was done a few days before the final competition in order to see and evaluate our complete device functionality. Shown here in this table, the gate lifting mechanism was actually proven to operate 100% of the time as we actually predicted. This was thought to be crucial in our final competition because in completing this task, every time it would secure key points and at least gain an opportunity to complete the other tasks. As you can see here as well, our ball drop mechanism was also proven to work 86% of the time if successfully deployed. There's one instance in which the contact screw would hit the rotating smallest contact sensor. However, based on a low success rate of 14%, the current ball drop mechanism remained. Therefore, it's also thought to be a defining difference in the latter rounds within the competition to separate the more robust devices. Unfortunately, the Thorn retrieval subsystem was proven to succeed only 14% of the time. Ironically, much effort was placed on this subsystem due to the placement of Thorn within our own zone. However, the design of this subsystem proved to be very challenging, so more focus was then placed on claiming the Argenstorn and One Ring, which actually succeeded 57% of the time respectively. So we actually got eliminated in the first 2 rounds due to a disqualification, and this was actually directly resulting of another banana plug issue. We've had these issues before, and you would think that we'd know how to fix them, and apparently we thought we did, but that actually also didn't work. So earlier in the day, the hours before the competition, our banana plugs became damaged. We tried to fix those banana plugs, thought we fixed it, tested the code by shorting the wires. Code ran fine, so obviously we can't test that the day of because the track's off limits, so we thought everything was fine. We go to the competition, everything's working mechanically. We test the code one more time by touching our plugs, shorting the wires. Everything seemed to run okay, and the moment we plugged them into the track during the competition, it still didn't fire, so we ended up getting 2 DQs. So yeah, and because of that, we just had to end up evaluating our device as far as improvements go, not based on our results, but actually based on the competition and how we saw other teams perform the individual tasks.
Because of the extreme dependence on one subsystem to initiate another, this meant that if even one of these systems were to fail, the entire system as a whole would also fail. So in efforts to remedy this situation as well as friction, a weight trigger pulley system to deploy the ball drop mechanism as shown here would actually suffice.
It will work by a heavy weight initiating a conveyor belt type system to deploy and translate the set of drawer sliders, as you can see here. This deployment system would help with a sufficiently heavy weight and would also combat friction issues far greater than the current mechanical system, as well as removing more reliability between the 2 subsystems. Most importantly, this would result in removing the 4-bar linkage subsystem, which actually initiated a lot of our inner mechanism movement. This will also delete all subsystem dependence. To address our Thorn retrieval subsystem failures, a makeshift pin setting technique, as shown in this figure, could be used. A hinged housing would be attached to the pin setter to allow for the motion shown to trap and lift Thorn upward, so he would then be retrieved through the pre-existing motor housing described earlier. Small slits would then also be cut within the bolting pin tolerances to allow for easy pickup, which is also shown. This was actually a predetermined design, and it was actually also implemented, but due to time constraints as well as difficulty getting the correct linkages, allotting for human error, we actually decided not to go with this system. However, based on the team results as well as the competition results, it actually would suffice that these 2 designs would also directly coincide with our current ability of the device to lift the gate at each respective Thorn position, as is discussed earlier, therefore most importantly not resulting in a complete rebuild. Allowed the average Joes to at least salvage something in this entire design competition.